Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, October 21st. So today we have the moon in Taurus. We are still very much in the full moon intensity. We should be feeling that energy starting to dissipate. Of course, yesterday's full moon in Aries really lit things up for us emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Physically, we had a lot of emotion to release. We had a lot of changes we needed to make. We had a lot to get off our chest. And of course, that dramatic shift moving from the moon in Aries to the moon in Taurus definitely brings us down a couple of pegs. We kind of come back down to earth. We sit in our realities. We start to get a little bit of a grip on our situations. But because this is the day after a full moon, we have to kind of expect that we're still going to be highly emotional, highly confused, highly chaotic. That being said, there are 8 different aspects taking place today, and 8 of them involve the moon. So we are going to have a moody moon day. We have to focus on the fact that this Tauran energy does provide us with a little bit more grounding, more centering than we've had in a very long time. Although the moon in Taurus would rather kind of stick to the same old, that's exactly what we need to do right now because we've had a lot of things shift within us and within our realms. It wouldn't hurt for us to take a step back, to slow the roll, to actually take a good look at all of the things that are changing and moving very fast in our realms, inside and out, and get a good perspective on what it is that we want to do with that energy moving forward. The moon bumps into Jupiter, and of course, Jupiter wants to grow and expand our mental planes. He's been doing a number on us since moving direct earlier on in the week, and this is going to provide us with a really good opportunity to think a little bit more rationally, practically, logically than we have been thinking. Of course, all fired up, just kind of, hitting that red line with the moon, with the full moon in Aries. Now we get to bring things down a peg. We get to kind of sit in our comfort zones where we feel safe, where we feel secure, and really contemplate where it is that we're being asked, where it is that we're being kind of called to a new mission, a new purpose that is going to require us to restructure and reorganize the way that we've been planning, the way that we've been operating in our day-to-day lives. Of course, taking a good look at the connections we are making, and of course, where it is that our new dreams and our new visions are trying to call us on a different path. The moon in Taurus makes a little bit of a tension point with Neptune, and this is going to kind of muddy the waters just a tad. The Neptune energy is highly intuitive, very more focused on the spiritual, calling than reality. And of course, the moon in Taurus is focused on the here and now, the what is in the physical realm. There's always a conflict here between these particular energies because Neptune in Pisces is asking us to think outside of our physical realm, and the moon in Taurus is asking us to only think about our physical realm. So we might find a little bit of an inner conflict, our logic going against our intuition, our practicality going against our gut feelings, and of course, the reality of what is going against the possibilities of what could be. We're going to get a little bit of a reality check here when the moon in Taurus squares Saturn, who is now direct in Aquarius. This is definitely going to put a major focus on getting a grip over our emotions and over mental plane. Yes, we kind of were riding high, and now we do have to come back down to earth. And of course, we have to take a good look at where it is that we do have to boss up in our lives and recognize that we actually have more control over our realities than what we previously thought. We are looking to kind of shake up, wake up the systems, routines, and structures that, of course, have been illuminated to us that are not working, that are not strong enough for us to move forward and house our new visions and dreams off of. And of course, the moon in Taurus, being very practical, being very down to earth, is going to take a very good look at where it is that we are still feeling blocked, we are still feeling restricted, we are kind of realizing where we let our emotions and our thoughts run a little bit wild, and where it is that we're going to pull the reins and kind of get back down to reality, a center point, a grounding point in which we actually feel controlled over. The moon in Taurus goes ahead and bumps into Venus, who of course is in Sagittarius, but we have to remember that Venus rules over Taurus energy. This is a good aspect, really helping us to redefine what it is we actually need emotionally to feel grounded, to feel centered, to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel strong enough to actually start making some of the moves that we have been contemplating. Of course, Venus over in Sagittarius is on a brand new quest of truth. We've seen a brand new kind of detail emerge, really showing us where it is that our values have changed, both within ourselves and in our partnerships, and really showing us where it is that we need a little bit more freedom, a little bit more independence. And a lot of these aha moments are going to have a dramatic effect on where it is that we have to kind of expect there to be some changes in our energy exchanges, especially in our personal relationships. We might get a little bit triggered when the moon goes ahead and bumps into Chiron, the wounded healer. And of course, this is providing us a beautiful opportunity in our exterior realms to start implementing some of the aha moments that we've had. Of course, the moon in Taurus wants to kind of just stick in the moment of what is. And Chiron, of course, needs us to look back in the past to figure out where it is that we have not been honoring ourselves, where it is that we have not been stable in our emotions, in our thoughts, recognizing where it is that those wounds are very much alive, and of course providing us a beautiful opportunity to walk the walk and talk the talk, changing our energy, our perspective, and our attitude, and implementing what it is that we've learned in our day-to-day lives. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and bump into Mercury, who is now direct in Libra, really kind of putting a lot of emphasis on us speaking up and speaking out. The moon in Taurus recognizes where it is that too much has been going on, too many changes have been taking place, where the instability in our mental health, in our emotional health has been alive and well, and where it is that maybe we need to clear the air. Maybe we need to speak our truth. Maybe we have to illuminate what's been going on in our inner realms to those outside of us that actually could do something to help our emotions stabilize. The moon is going to go ahead and bump into Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener. Uranus is retrograde in Taurus, really shaking us up, really showing us where in our personal relationships, in our value system, in our careers, in our finances, that things are being shook up in order for us to see where the foundation is not strong enough to house the dreams, the visions that we're pushing forward with, and where it is that maybe we have to reorganize, restructure, and rebuild some of those routines, some of those foundational relationships in our lives that will actually lead us on a much more stronger path, much more validating path, and a path that is much more aligned to our emotions, to our thoughts, and to our new values. We're going to end off the day with the moon in Taurus bumping into Venus once again, but this time it's a little bit of a tension point, mostly because we likely would have taken the opportunity to speak out, to speak our truth, to let people know where it is that we stand and how it is that we think and how it is we feel. And guess what? We're having a little bit of pushback. So now we're really going to have to contemplate whether or not we are going to settle or whether or not we are going to honor ourselves. Again, the validation or the acknowledgement that we are getting, or lack of, is putting a huge perspective on where it is that people are not willing to boss up and meet us halfway. And now we have to really think whether or not we value ourselves more than other people seem to be valuing us at this particular time, to take the unfamiliar path, that's the right word, to take the unfamiliar path, to stand out alone, to stand in one's truth, to stand in one's power, regardless of whether we have anyone standing beside us or not. This is definitely going to put a huge emphasis on wrapping Libra season up. This is going to put a huge perspective on who it is that we are taking with us in the next cycle. And many of us may be shocked, may be saddened, may be disappointed to realize that we do have to drop the emotional baggage, leave it in the past where it belongs, and that includes leaving some people in the past where they belong.